Oh my goodness, I must apologise for how bad my pronunciation is. I've just listened to that back and I was in tears with laughter, it's so bad. But that is what the text is there for. Frederica of Mecklenburg-Strelitz. She was born Frederica Louise Caroline Sophie Charlotte Alexandrine. She was Princess of Prussia, Princess of Solms-Braunfels, Duchess of Cumberland, and Queen of Hanover. She was born on the 3rd of March 1778 in Alts Palais in Hanover. She died on the 29th of June 1841, aged 63, in the Kingdom of Hanover. She is buried at Herrenhausen Palace in Hanover. She was married 3 times. Her first husband was Louis Charles, Prince of Prussia. Her second husband was Frederick William, Prince of Solms-Braunfels. Her third husband was Ernest Augustus, King of Hanover. She had 3 children from her first marriage to Frederick Louis of Prussia: Prince Frederick Wilhelm Ludwig, Prince Frederick Wilhelm Charles George, and Princess Frederica Wilhelmina Louise Amelia. She had 7 children with her second husband, Prince Frederick of Solms-Braunfels, Princess Sophia, Prince Frederick William, Prince Frederick Wilhelm Henrik Casimir George Karl Maximilian, Princess Augusta Louise Theresa Mathilde, an unnamed daughter, Prince Alexander Frederick, and Prince Frederick Wilhelm Ludwig George Karl Alfred Alexander. She had 3 children from her third marriage to Prince Ernest Augustus, Princess Frederica of Cumberland, an unnamed daughter, and George V of Hanover. Her father was Charles II, Grand Duke of Mecklenburg-Strelitz. Her mother was Princess Frederica of Hesse and Darmstadt. Frederica's mother died on the 22nd of May 1782 after giving birth to her 10th child. 2 years later, on the 20th of September 1784, her father remarried the younger sister of his deceased wife, Princess Charlotte of Hesse and Darmstadt. But this union ended just 1 year later, when Charlotte died of complications resulting from childbirth on the 12th of December 1785. The twice-widowed Duke Charles considered himself unable to give his daughters proper rearing and education, so he sent Frederica and her elder sisters, Charlotte, Teresa and Louise, to their maternal grandmother, Princess Maria Louise of Hesse and Darmstadt. Frederica's family were anxious to arrange advantageous marriages and use family connections to bring this about. On the 14th of March 1793, the Princess of Mecklenburg-Strelitz met the Prussian King, Frederick William II. He was immediately captivated by the grace and charm of both sisters, Frederica and Louise. The pending marriage negotiations received traction, and within weeks the matter was settled. Frederica's elder sister, Louise, would marry Crown Prince Frederick William, and Frederica would marry his younger brother, Prince Louis. The double engagement was celebrated in Darmstadt on the 24th of April 1793. Only a few weeks after the sisters fortuitously met their future father-in-law at the theatre. On December 24th, Louise and Crown Prince Frederick William were married in the Royal Palace of Berlin. 2 days later, on the 26th of December, Frederica and Prince Louis were also married at the same venue. Unlike her sister, Frederica did not enjoy a happy marriage. Although her husband died only 3 years after the wedding, Louis was said to have preferred the company of his mistresses. Despite her husband's alleged neglect, Frederica did bear him 3 children in as many years. Frederick in 1794, a short-lived son, Charles in 1795, and a daughter, Frederica, in 1796. In 1795, King Frederick William II appointed Louis as chief of the Dragoons Regiment stationed in Schwedt. 1 year later, on the 23rd of December 1796, Prince Louis died of diphtheria. It was almost 3 years to the day since their wedding. At this time, his youngest child, Frederica, was less than 3 months old, and his eldest was hardly 2 years old. In 1797, Frederica and her cousin Prince Adolphus, Duke of Cambridge, the 7th son of King George III of Great Britain by his wife Charlotte, who was Frederica's paternal aunt, became unofficially engaged. The king did not refuse his consent, but asked his son to wait until the war with France was over. The relationship eventually ended, with rumours circulating that Frederica had jilted him for another man. In 1798, Frederica became pregnant. The father was Prince Frederick William of Solms-Braunfels. The prince requested her hand in marriage, a proposal that was quickly granted in order to avoid a scandal. On the 10th of December that year, the couple were married in Berlin and immediately moved to Ansbach. 2 months later, in February 1799, Frederica gave birth to a daughter who only lived 8 months. Prince Frederick, disappointed and embittered, resumed his old dissipated lifestyle and became an alcoholic. Frederica had to maintain her family with her own resources after her brother-in-law, King Frederick William III of Prussia, refused to restore her annual pension as a Dowager Princess of Prussia. Frederica's older brother-in-law and head of the family, William Christian, Prince of Solms-Braunfels, advised her to get a divorce with his full approval. She and her husband nonetheless refused. In May 1813, during a visit to his uncle, Duke Charles in Neuss-Strelitz, Prince Ernest Augustus, Duke of Cumberland and 5th son of King George III of Great Britain, met and fell in love with Frederica. Duke Charles made it clear to his daughter that her separation from the Prince of Solms-Braunfels was absolutely logical, and that he saw a marriage with an English prince as a great opportunity for her. During the next few months, Frederica considered the intentions of Ernest Augustus and the possible effects on her own situation. Sometime later, Frederica asked the Prussian king for approval for her divorce. All parties agreed, but Frederick William's sudden death on the 13th of April 1814 precluded the need for a divorce. The prince's demise was considered by some as a little too convenient, and some suspected that Frederica had poisoned him. In August, the engagement with Ernest Augustus was officially announced. After the British Prince Regent gave his consent to the wedding, Frederica and Ernest Augustus were married on the 29th of May 1815 at the parish church of Neuss-Strelitz. Sometime later the couple travelled to Great Britain and married again on the 29th of August 1815 at Carlton House in London. Charlotte of Mecklenburg-Strelitz bitterly opposed the marriage, even though her daughter-in-law was also her niece. She refused to attend the wedding and advised her son to live outside England with his new wife. On the 20th of June 1837, King William IV of the United Kingdom and Hanover died without issue. His heir was Princess Victoria, only daughter of Prince Edward, Duke of Kent. But because Hanover had been ruled under semi-Salic law since the time of the Holy Roman Empire, she could not inherit the Hanoverian throne. The next male descendant of the late king was the Duke of Cumberland, Frederica's husband, who then became King of Hanover with Frederica as his queen consort. After a short illness, Queen Frederica of Hanover died in 1841. The court master builder, George Ludwig Frederick Leves, was instructed by the king to build a mausoleum for his wife and himself in the garden of the chapel at Herrenhausen Palace. He also gave royal orders for the transformation of a central square near the Leinschloss and renamed it Friedrichsenplatz in her honour. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, click the like button and please subscribe. Thank you.